Vice Admiral Matome Ugaki's War Diary, The Reality of the Pacific War. Introduction. Presentation of Vice Admiral Matome Ugaki, Chief of Staff of the Combined Fleet of the Imperial Japanese Navy during World War II. Brief summary of his career and historical importance, mentioning that his 731-page diary documents the insider view of the Japanese Naval High Command on the unfolding conflict in the Pacific. Explanation of the diary's relevance as a unique historical source, revealing how Japanese commanders faced the growing industrial and logistical disparity against the USA. The importance of diaries and the gradual understanding of reality. Historical context of the beginning of the war in the Pacific in 1941, showing the initial Japanese optimism. Description of how, through daily reading and reflection in the diaries, Ugaki and other officers came to understand the magnitude of American industrial production. Reference to the impact of the Battle of Midway, June 20, 1942, as a turning point, where Japanese naval losses began to worsen, leading to the perception of American superiority. Commentary on the difficulty Japanese officers had in accepting the reality of industrialized warfare against an enemy with enormous resources. American versus Japanese industrial production. Detailed breakdown of the numbers mentioned in the diary. Production of over 150 American aircraft carriers against only 25 Japanese. Construction of Liberty ships every 42 days, and over 297,000 aircraft produced by the U.S. against 76,000 by Japan. Analysis of the influence of industrial capacity on modern naval warfare, showing how U.S. mass production created an almost mathematical advantage. Discussion of Japan's economic and technical limitations, lack of resources, materials, and manpower in comparison, and the strategic impacts of this throughout the war. Crucial battles narrated in the diary. Narrative of the events of the Battle of Midway, including the loss of 4 Japanese aircraft carriers and its importance as a turning point. Description of the battles of the Philippine Sea and Leyte Gulf, emphasizing the scale and brutality of naval combat, kamikaze attacks, and the decisive role of U.S. industrial manufacturing in these confrontations. Quotes from diary entries reflecting Ugaki's perception of the transformation of the war into a war of resources and endurance. Ugaki's final mission and reflections on leadership and war economics, approximately 500 words. Detailed account of Ugaki's final mission on August 15, 1945, occurring after the announcement of Japan's surrender. Discussion of the leadership philosophy expressed in Ugaki's decision to participate in the last kamikaze mission, symbolizing the Japanese military spirit and the psychological impact of defeat. A reflection on how modern warfare depended not only on courage and strategy, but fundamentally on national industrial and economic capacity. A summary of the historical importance of Ugaki's diary for understanding the Pacific War beyond the battles, showing the central role of industrial production, the psychological aspect of leadership, and the real limitations faced by Japan. A final message on the lesson of modern warfare, that economic and industrial superiority can determine the decisive outcome in a prolonged and global conflict.